Hello and welcome to Natural Gardening Live, or this week's Natural Gardening Live with me, Josie, your natural gardening coach. We're talking about food scraps, the waste or food waste that you can use to help support your garden. We've got 5 examples of how to create plant foods and pest controls and things like that can help you get started. So starting and supporting your garden can be expensive and can be challenging, but if there is anything I couldn't be more sure of, is that there's always a free and natural solution when it comes to gardening, when it comes to garden care, and that often brings more benefits to your garden, to your life, to your garden, than the solution to the problem that it is in hand, that it's solving. So, nothing I'm more sure of at all. A little bit extreme there, but yeah, drive that point home. So there's always a free and natural solution, definitely. If you're new to gardening, if you're new to natural gardening, if you're new to gardening as well, hopefully you've come here first, which is fantastic. But if you're new to natural gardening, I hope this live will inspire you to make a few more natural feeds for your garden. Just try them out, just experiment with the ones that you kind of get on with, and try and utilise a few more natural pest control methods as well. Tell me in the comments. Do you make your own, or have you tried to make your own natural feeds for your garden, for your plants, even for your house plants as well? Have you tried to make your own natural feeds? Have you thought about, or have you tried to make compost yourself, your compost at home? Do you take your kitchen waste and make your own compost? So if you have, let me know in the comments. If you've tried to make your own natural feeds, let me know in the comments what you've tried to make. Just let us know and see what you've tried to do and how it went for you as well. So this subject is becoming a lot more common and talked about much more. We don't talk about it in hushed tones anymore. So it's a lot more common in the gardening or horticultural community, which is great. And I'm so pleased. It can provide so many benefits for the garden and for you and for nature and for the environment. There are so many benefits to natural gardening and making your own natural feeds as well, from the scraps of your kitchen, for goodness sake. There's so many benefits. It's something that we should be talking about a lot more and doing a lot more of. So I'm extremely pleased about this myself. Saving the kitchen waste and making your own compost for your garden is the most basic and efficient way of supporting your garden naturally. It is. If you've got a green box on, us on the windowsill, most people I think live on the windowsill, but if you've got one of them green council waste bin little caddies things, and you put your waste in there, they'll go off to the tip and they'll make compost with them. They'll go into their green waste and they'll make compost with them. So whichever way you look at it, you're making compost. But yes, it's the most basic way most efficient way of gardening naturally and saving you an awful lot of money. Making your own compost can do so much for your garden, from conditioning the soil. It can promote a good ecosystem in your soil to release more nutrients than it would normally as well. And as I say, it's using the waste that you would normally have thrown away for something that's going to benefit you and your garden for years to come, if you like, years to come. It's going to save you a fortune on buying compost as well, or soil conditioner. There are many ways that you can make feeds, pest repellents from your kitchen scraps and provide good sources of nutrients and support for what you might otherwise struggle to find in your soil, or in the garden. Today I've got 5 examples for you, which we'll go into in a moment. 5 examples for you to help you get you started and realise actually it is quite easy to do and it's worth the time, not so much the money because it's pretty much free. It's worth taking the time to do this because the extra benefits that are all involved in it as well. Now, banana skins. This one we have spoken about a lot. So bananas in general, but banana skins, the waste of your banana, are incredibly high in potassium. They do have a bit of nitrogen in there as well, but they're higher in potassium. So they make a very efficient feed for your plants. So now, there are many uses for a banana skin, which I can go into quickly, but I'll talk about the food more in a minute. You can also use banana skins very effectively for a leaf wipe, if you like, for houseplants as well. So dusting off your houseplants, you can use a banana skin, peeled banana skin, before it's gone manky, and then use the banana-y side, the softer side, to wipe the leaves off. This will also leave a bit of residue behind on the leaves, which will then soak down into the leaves, and then it will give them like a foliar feed, if you like, as well, high potassium foliar feed for your plants. So not only are you dusting your plants, which you should do really quite regularly, because that prevents the sunshine going through the leaves and photosynthesizing things. So you should do that, but it also feeds them. Banana skins are extremely good sources of potassium, which is very important for root growth, buds, fruit growth as well, fruit development, bud development, that sort of thing. So they're very important for that. So if you've got any soft fruits or fruit trees or anything, often very good for roses as well. Making or using banana skins to feed these types of plants, very good thing to do. We touched on earlier. Adding banana skins to your compost heap can fortify the compost, like other things as well, other greens, and they can fortify the compost with potassium, with nitrogen as well, to just give it that extra layer of nutrients when you're using your garden. If you take your banana skin as it is, cut it up, and then dig it directly into your soil, don't compost, directly into the soil around the plants that need it, if you like. This will then compost down, it will break down, and it will then release all the potassium and all the nutrients and everything that are in the skin down over time, so the root systems can then pick it up quite efficiently. So that's a really good way of doing it. So you cut them up so it's got more surface area, so it breaks down a bit quicker, and then it release all the potassium and stuff into the soil, so then the roots will find it and they'll be able to take it up. But an even easier way of doing this, which you've still got the skin afterwards as well, which is really good, is to make a banana skin liquid feed. So there couldn't be a simpler way of making a liquid feed for your plants. You take a banana skin, you cut it up into pieces. Now I just slice it with a pair of scissors personally. I'm not too pedantic on the size, but you keep them to like, I don't know, 1-inch strips, thereabouts, that sort of size. It's easier for it to break down and release all its nutrients out. So cut them up. Don't be too precise about it, just cut them up into pieces. Now I use a jar, like a fairly big, I think it's usually like a dolmio jar or something called pasta sauce jar. Cut it up into the jar, and then cover the banana skins with 500 mils of water. So 1 banana skin to 500 ml of water. Don't have to be precise if you don't want to, but around 500 ml to 1 banana skin. So if you use that ratio, and then seal with the lid. So fill with water, banana skin in jar or bottle, whatever you want to do. Fill with water, screw the lid on. Now leave that. I leave it overnight, so around 24 hours you can leave it for. But the longer you can leave it, the more nutrients gets leached out from the banana skin into the water. And then this water then becomes, as I say, fortified. It becomes the liquid feed. It's a high potassium, really effective liquid feed, ready to use. So you can literally pour the water out of the jar onto the plants, and that's a really efficient and very effective liquid feed for your plants. I use it on my strawberries. Fantastic. Absolutely amazing. But you do have to make quite a lot of it sometimes with strawberries, because there's quite a lot. But houseplants is a very good one for as well. And you've still got bits of banana skin, depending on how long you leave them to stew. You've still got the banana skin that you can add to your compost, or you can dig into the garden. So they may have slightly less potassium in them when they left, but you've got 2 sources of nutrients out. One thing. Perfect. So that's banana skins. Completely versatile. Totally versatile plants, waste product. If you have got particularly black bananas, I know some people don't like to eat them when they get really black, but digging those with the banana inside into your garden is actually quite effective as well for releasing a good source of potassium into your garden as well. So don't write them off just because they've gone too black, and just put them in your compost heap, absolutely fine, but chop them up and just dig them into your garden. Eggshells. So eggshells can be used in a number of different ways. I personally use them quite effectively, if you like. I use them for my tomatoes. I also use them for anything in the garden that is calcium or magnesium deficient. So you can tell this by the leaves sort of curl up. There's various different ways of knowing whether something's calcium deficient. With tomatoes or peppers, usually tomatoes, you get blossom end rot. So the bottom of the tomato goes black, which isn't very attractive, and they don't taste very nice after having blossom end rot either. Eggshells. The way I usually do it is take the eggshells, I put them in the oven and bake them off for just on a low heat for like half an hour. It just kills off any bacteria or anything that's growing from the egg itself, from like the white. Put them in the oven and then bake them off, and then blitz them in like a little food processor, or if you've got pestle and mortar or anything like that, or put them in a bag and beat them with a rolling pin or something. Just break them up really finely. If you can get into a powder, all the better, because it works faster the more surface area there is. So the smaller the pieces, the faster this works. So bake, smash. Good place to start. So you've got 2 tablespoons of broken up eggshells. So eggshell powder if you can get there, but broken up eggshells. 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Now, this is the cheapest vinegar I think you can buy. Well, it's probably brown vinegar actually, probably cheaper, but white vinegar, pretty cheap. 2 tablespoons of white vinegar mixed with your eggshells. And then add the mixture. It will fizz because the eggshells react with vinegar, and which is quite cool. Little science project for you. And then add that mixture. So it's 2 tablespoons of eggshell, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, to 5 litres of just plain water. Tap water, water butt water. Water butt water is better than tap water, I will say. So water butt water ideally. But yes, mix that with the 5 litres of water. And then that is your calcium and magnesium eggshell liquid feed. Now again, that's ready to go. So you just water that straight out the bottle if you want to. I use like a big 5 litre water container. So I fill that up and then just pour the mixture in and then give it a good old shake. And I leave it for a day before I do anything with it. Just let it disperse and break down. Which is why I say if you can get an eggshell to a powder, much better way of doing it because it breaks down much quicker and you can use it faster. So leave it for a day or two, whatever, to sort itself out before you start using it. And then that can be a really good water liquid feed. Or if you just use the baked eggshell and get it down to a powder and then sprinkle that in the bottom of the hole before you plant your tomatoes, or sprinkle it around and dig it into your garden soil, that will then break down into the soil to then release all the calcium and magnesium for the plant roots to take up. So you can do it that way as well. You don't have to have the vinegar and water. It makes a really good liquid feed that way. That's how I do it. Yes, pest control now. So orange peel. Now, this also works with orange essential oils, but I've never really touched on essential oils with you guys before. We'll be going into that another day, I'm sure. So orange peel, very effective at flying at a creature like black fly, very good at repelling black fly, and very good at like mosquitoes and things like that, midges, nasty flying insects. But aphids also don't like them either. So orange peel, there's many ways of using it. You can use the orange essential oils to do it this way. You can use the orange peel and then just leave it on top of the soil around your garden, and it also repels cats. That was the other thing I was going to say, which is amazing. Never actually had to try it because we don't get cats in our garden generally. You have 2 Jack Russells. Doesn't happen. So I've never been able to try it. So if you've tried this and it's worked, let me know, or tell me if it hasn't worked. Perfect. But yes, so leaving the orange peel around your garden on the soil, and then just letting them break down over time, the oils will come out the peel and then will repel any aphids or black fly or like flying creatures around. So it works very effectively as a pest control. As I say, you can also do this with essential oils. Leave them essential oils in a little bit of water and then just dot it around the garden. That works quite well as well. So if you don't want to do the peel thing. But there's another one to this. The orange peel also contains good levels of nitrogen as well, which, as we know, is very good for young growth, new growth, and stem growth, green growth in general, basically. So as the peel breaks down, as you leave it dotted around your garden, as the peel breaks down, it will then release the nitrogen out into the soil and your plant can take it up. Now, this is one I would like to try. Chili tops and chili seeds. Now, when you chop up a fresh chili, minding your fingers and your eyes, and we all know, don't do it. So chili, when you cut up your chilies, keep the top, so the green stem bit and where the seeds all kind of gather, if you like, at the top part, cut that bit, save that. Now, if you blitz the chili top with a bit of water and then strain it off, so you've just got the water left, and then you can use that to dab on your plants. You can then put that into a spray bottle and then spray your plants as well. This is an incredibly good, from what I understand, having never tried this one, want to try it though, very good pest control for, again, flying insects, black fly, aphids, and it works mites and smaller creatures as well, soft-bodied mainly, soft-bodied insects. So if you've got an aphid problem, try this. We could try the orange peel as well. Last one on my list, by 5, is potato water. Now, this also works with potato skins, but potato water is more of a feed side of it, more of a liquid feed. When you cook your potatoes, just in plain water, don't add salt or anything to the water, cook the potatoes in the water, and the nutrients from the potatoes, like we say with a lot of veg, it's better to steam them because the nutrients get leached out otherwise. So by boiling potatoes in the water, the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium and magnesium, so the big 3, that you need, that plants need in the garden, are in the potato themselves. So they'll get leached down to potato water, save the potato water, and that is a really strong top 3 liquid feeds. So that's really good for your garden. So say it's ready to use as well. You don't have to dilute it down. So you can just pour it onto the garden, onto your plants, and all of that nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium will then get put into the soil, put into your, be accessible by your plant roots. So it's a really efficient way of doing it. Now, just the water that you boil your potatoes in, that there is a liquid feed. Go figure. Now, I have got a little sidebar for this one as well. Potato peelings also contain, because they would do, being a part potato, they also have the nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus in them as well, and levels of magnesium as well. So if you're peeling your potatoes, like maybe a mashed potato or anything like that, if they're, save the peelings, and you can also add those to the compost, obviously, but you can also chop them up quite finely. Don't have to be like tiny pieces, but so they're easy to break down. And then you can dig those into the soil as well. Like we were saying with banana skin, and like we said with the orange peel, they'll break down into the soil, and then they're going to provide those top 3 much needed nutrients for your garden as well. So with all the things you're going to be digging into your soil, your garden's going to love you in a minute. So those are my 5. Now they're the most straightforward ones that I could think of. It sounds silly. There are a few like fancy complicated ways of doing it, like you've got to stew things for 6 weeks and then change containers and whatever else, ferment stuff and whatever. But these are so easy and so simple to do, and you can nearly just about use the product straight away after you've finished like 24 hours soaking the skins or whatever. You can use it straight away. So it's so easy to do, and they're waste products. So you've already bought the food that you've got what you want out of it, and these things are going to be thrown away. So you might as well use them for your garden. So that's my 5 for today. As I say, if you've made any of these that I've listed today, let me know if they've worked, if you've noticed a change, if you found it easy, if you found it too complicated, anything like that. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you've made, or if you've made things that I haven't listed today. Let me know, because I'm always up for inspiration if I haven't thought about something. So yes. On that note, I will call it a day, but I'll catch you later. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. See you next week.